Hey everybody, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So, tonight I'm going to do a tabletop, and I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible because I know people don't want 3 hours of videos here. But this gun has to have a little bit more attention paid to it because for me, it's a special gun. It is actually the first gun that I ever bought when I started getting into firearms. Now, it's not the same gun. That gun has long been gone and long been sold. But for a very long time, I've been trying to get this gun back, and I finally was able to find it. Now, if you've been following the channel and you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll probably realize which one I'm talking about. However, if you're not, this is it right here. It's the P01. Now, I have to tell you guys, I've owned a lot of firearms. I own a lot of firearms, and I'm going to tell you right now, this one to me still, for whatever reason, maybe it's love, maybe it's just obsession, I don't know. But for me, this gun still fits every single role I'd ever want a gun to fit for me. Now, even though it's a hammer-fire, double action, single action, which I don't think is a bad thing, some people don't care for it, especially with modern pistols, but for me, this gun fits every role that you'd want. It is a combat pistol, it is a carry pistol, it is a range gun. One of the guns that I have to say that I should never have sold is this one right here. Now, if you're not familiar, you have your forged aluminum alloyed frame, you have your steel slide, so you have a very nice weight combination. You have the heavy slide, but the lightweight frame, which in my opinion makes this a very sweet, soft shooting gun. Again, classic CZ, you have a very low bore height. Again, whether or not that's going to make you a better shooter, I really couldn't tell you. However, I will tell you that I do know, at least in my opinion, from firing different handguns, that the lower this is, the better it is to shoot, at least in my opinion. Now, in regards to this particular model, this does not come with a safety, so you cannot carry this cocked and locked. It only comes with a decocker, so if you're willing to carry like that without it being unsafe, good luck with that. But for me, half-cocked position is good enough for a nice, clean double-action trigger. Again, 3-dot sights. By the way, these sights are absolutely 100% horrible. They're very, very tiny, as you can see. There's almost no sight picture in these at all. However, I will tell you, they did update them from the last one I had because these are actually luminescent. They actually glow in the dark, so that's pretty cool. But these are going to be getting replaced very soon. Again, in regards to everything else, again, the history of the gun, if you're not familiar, this had to pass the NATO testing that was done, and I believe it had to get something like less than a 4% failure ratio when it was being shot through thousands of rounds, and this was the only firearm that was able to do that. So that's why you have this NATO serial number on the side, showing that this gun did pass that test, which is pretty cool. The Omegas don't have that, by the way. Now, of course, in regards to the trigger is actually pretty good. I do have an Omega trigger system on the P07, which is the newer model as opposed to the Duty. However, I have no complaints about the trigger. I know it's obviously a much more rounded trigger than, let's say, the Omega trigger is. But I actually like this trigger. Just the way your finger fits in it, it just kind of wraps the finger really nicely into there. It may not work for you if you have a big old sausage finger, but for me it works, and I'm pretty happy with that. In regards to, some of the things that, are standard but could change. Obviously, the sights is a big deal. And of course, the grips. A lot of people will change their grips out. Now, these rubber grips on here, they're actually pretty good. They have a very nice feel to them, very comfortable. However, these will be changed out as well, just because I want to get something a little bit thinner in aluminum. So that's probably what I'm going to go with. Once I get that, I'll show that to you as well. But overall, the double action is actually pretty smooth. It is a heavy double action. I believe it weighs in at 14 pounds. Again, at some point, maybe one year, I'll actually go and get a Lyman gauge, but I just don't feel like doing that unless somebody wants to give me one. Now, of course, it is pretty responsive, though. I have to say, it's a very smooth trigger pull. Even though it's heavy, it is extremely responsive. It's much smoother than the P07 trigger, in my opinion. And then, of course, when you get it to a certain point, which is right about there, the hammer falls and it goes bang. Now, in regards to reset, if you care about reset and all these other great things, I'll show that to you as well. But as you can see, that's if this first shot went off. Here's your reset right there. Once you hit that reset, there's just a slight movement there, but it depends on how far your finger gets pushed up, obviously. But you'll also notice that once you get to that point, there is a little bit of take-up right about there. And once you hit that take-up, it breaks again. So, it's not the cleanest trigger in the world, but it's pretty damn good. And I have to say, it is better than my P07. My P07 has about 300 rounds through it. This one has none, and I will tell you that I actually prefer this trigger better than the P07. which whether or not that's the Omega trigger or not thing, I don't really know. I'm just telling you what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And I have to say, I think this is a much smoother trigger than the P07. Overall, guys, you can't go wrong with this gun. This gun is extremely easy to carry. Some people say, again, that it's too heavy at 26 ounces. But again, if you own a P320 compact or an XD Mod 2 subcompact, both those firearms weigh 26 ounces as well. So if you can carry those, you can definitely carry this. Again, I'm so excited that I have this. I will be updating the channel with some more things on this gun in the near future, especially with the sights and the grips and, of course, shooting it. I'm going to do my best to get out there this weekend and shoot this, including the M9 and including the Canic if it comes back, because strangely enough, it's still not here. Anyway, guys, have a great night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for making this channel grow, by the way. You know, we're almost at 950 subscribers, and I would never thought that would have happened. So thanks so much, and I really appreciate it, and I really love this gun. And if you like this gun, let me know. If you don't like the gun, let me know. Try to keep it positive, and as always, guys, freedom is never free.